and welcome to Reliving My Youth. My name is Noel. My guest this week is Sean Whalen, very talented and versatile actor. Just recently directed his very first movie called Crust. Highly recommended. It's on Tubi now, a horror comedy movie. We discussed that. We also discussed one of his recent web series called Psyche on Sunset that he starred and directed. But we all know Sean from the Got Milk commercial, which was really the very first one that got the whole campaign started. That was directed by Michael Bay. He was also in People Under the Stairs, which is celebrating 35th anniversary, which is crazy. Twister, celebrating 30th anniversary. He was also in Never Been Kissed. A ton of other movies. Worked with Rob Zombie, with Three from Hell, Halloween 2. Really enjoyed my conversation with Sean. And if you did, please rate and review the show. I would really appreciate it. Here's Sean. So, Sean, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, Noel. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, I'm going to ask you about this really funny web series I discovered by you.
Okay.
Yeah. Psyche on Sunset.
Oh, I'm so glad. Wow, how
Y-
fun that you
Yeah.
saw that.
Oh my God. Yeah. So basically, it's a four-star restaurant. I love how these pick a four-star restaurant. And the waiters are also trained therapists. They're not really good at either one of their jobs.
Neither one, no.
No. Yeah. So tell me about this whole premise.
This was my best friend in college and still one of my best friends, Doug Van Pepper, who uh, he and I were always we were camp counselors together. We always did comedy stuff together, and he was in theater as well. And he and I, once I got engaged and was doing the, young engaged couple life or whatever, he was. That's when we were roommates and everything. He moved out and he started writing, and he did this sketch called Psyche on Melrose,
Right.
and it was a sketch about a dad or a husband waiter coming up to a husband, wife, and a daughter, and those were split into two, with me being the one of the guy with the daughter, and anyway, so it was just genius funny. I thought it was hilarious. And I saw him do it for years in different sketch shows, and then he said he wanted to do it as a short film, and I thought, oof, that's great. I said, well, what do you want me to do? And he goes, I
Right.
want you to play my part. And I was like, oh, I can't do that because
Right.
I'd seen him. First of all, he's my
Yeah.
best friend who I know him so well, and I've seen his take.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a specific take. Um, it felt blasphemous almost for me to do it. And then he said, look, the bottom line is your face will help me get into festivals.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. So I was scared because I didn't want to imitate him or.
Right.
So then we started doing it. We did the short. The short did actually pretty well, did very well. And then a friend said, hey, you should do this as a play in a place at like a restaurant. So we did it as a play in 2016, and we were waiters actually in a bar restaurant where, I mean, a bar cocktail thing, and we actually waited on you when you came in, and
Right.
then we started the play, and it was immersive,
Okay.
like it was a whole thing immersive. And then Rebecca Kennedy and I started our production companies, and we had done a short. So she has one with her husband, I have one with my wife, and we're best couple friends. And so we decided that we were gonna uh, try to start producing our own stuff, but two separate companies
Right.
joining together. And we did a short, and that did well. And then the second thing was, I said, maybe we should turn this into a series. And I approached Doug, and Doug and I had basically split up the parents and the kids
Mm.
one. We split that up, and then we wrote the two new ones to have Rebecca Kennedy, which an old manager of hers was like, she's not funny, and she's really funny in this,
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Uh, and um, and we wrote the other two about the prom kids
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
about the sex therapist.
Yeah.
Those were our two new ones, and we shot it over last. And so basically, it's hard to get a web series, but I'm just waiting for the right time for that thing to go vertical. I think it's a perfect vertical series. It's
Yeah.
endless because
Oh,
I
I
think
agree.
they're going to need comedies.
Yeah.
They're going to need comedies, and it's an endless. it to me, it's just endless.
Yeah.
There's no shortage. Like we could basically go to any actor and go, pitch us a funny take, like the puppet in Crust or whatever, the puppet that's in
Yeah.
our love language or whatever. I wanted her to come in with
Mm.
her fiance
Right.
and be people who literally talk through their puppets. You know what I mean? But you could
Yeah.
do anything,
Right.
anything you wanted, and it could be endless. And so for me, it's like sitting comfortably on the back
Mm.
burner, waiting for the right time. Because I really believe when these verticals take off and people want short series, then it's time to. I think Psyche would be the perfect fit. I think it's just an endless fun, and then our overall arc, you have a series arc, you have the fun one-offs, and then you have
Right.
the overall arc, and the overall arc
Yeah.
would be Rebecca's character, as you saw. She's legit. She, her sections get worse and
Yeah.
worse because she's actually helping people.
Right.
And we don't want to help anybody. We
Yeah.
want them to come back.
Exactly.
What was your favorite episode? Which one did you like the best?
Hers was good, because I love how she was like she went to
Hmm.
Cornell.
Yes.
Basically, like the wife went off with the sex
Yeah.
therapist. They did their thing. The husband's like, "Can I see you?"
Yeah, you're legit.
Like, yours
Yeah.
was great. The
Yeah.
like they said that the prom
God.
was really funny, and they had
Well,
really
that was my we had said that we want because that was in our play. We had a
okay.
bitter. We had in the play the waiter was um, waiting on his ex-girlfriend
Okay.
as they go through engagement counsel, marriage counseling
Right.
before they get married, and he has to so he's sabotaging
Yeah.
and he's angry um, and so we had said, oh, let's do that because that was funny. And then my friend said, God, I just came back from my
Yeah.
acting teaching, and these two students look like teenagers. He's
Right.
like, dude, how funny would it be if it was
Right.
just prom kids?
Yeah.
And it just made it so much funnier. Because the therapist is so bitter, and
And then at the end, they're like consoling her, and it's like my mom's here. We got to go. You know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's so well. I mean, I'm very proud of the writing. It's funny. I think it's a great premise. And like I said, I think its time hasn't come yet, but I really believe its time will come. You know.
Yeah. I'm sure it will because I don't know. Comedy. I feel like now it's kind of in a dark period.
Yeah,
And I don't know if there doesn't really offend anybody, your short, but I feel like people are afraid to offend people in
I think
comedy.
that's true. And I think what's great about these characters is you have to. A lot of people go like, "Oh, can you have some heart?" So we put a little bit of heart
Yeah.
in there, obviously, like you know, that the father and the daughter, they get
Yeah.
better even though a jerk,
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but I think the problem is that people don't want to they don't want to offend like you're saying, but if you write people who are toxic and that's who they are. So Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
Yeah,
those people are horrible people,
totally. Yeah.
horrible people, and so are the people in Seinfeld.
Right,
And
exactly.
Larry David is not a good guy. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like the whole point to me is, like Archie Bunker wasn't a good guy. If you have people that are inherently bad, then you get away with
Agreed.
more
Yeah.
offensive stuff because
Yeah.
we're the bad guys. The waiters are the bad guys.
Yeah.
They're narcissistic. They're completely bitter that
Yeah.
they're working in a restaurant,
Right.
and they take it out. So that's what I didn't worry, because I was worried about even a couple things in this,
Yeah.
but I said, they're jerks. If they're jerks, then we get away
It's
with a lot
okay.
more.
Right.
Yeah, we get away with a lot more, but we paint them as the jerks. So
Yeah. Right.
yeah. So anyway, what a nice way to start this interview because not enough people know, and I'm so proud. I think it's so fun and it's so funny, and it's so easily digestible too. These
Oh yeah.
the episodes are quick and easy and fun, and
Yeah, absolutely. I like the
yeah,
opening. It's kind of like a commercial. It's yeah.
yeah,
I think it's what Psyche on sunset.com.
Psyche on sunset.com. Yeah,
Yeah.
Psyche on
Yeah, everyone check it
sunset.com.
out.
Please check it out. Yeah, I appreciate that. And one of these days, and look, we already thinking about maybe doing it as an animated series.
Oh wow.
You know, that I mean, then you can get away with a lot more. A
Yeah.
lot more. My God, Family Guy. Like we never saw Family Guy, and we're like, you know what? Let's just start watching it, and we'll knock out a couple episodes a
Yeah.
night before bed to
It's fun.
cleanse our palate of the earth, and
Exactly.
then and
Yeah.
you go, wow, they can get away with a lot more.
Yeah.
So that's another way to think about it.
It's
So
true because you look at that, you look at like South Park. I mean, there's so many other
yes.
like shows that are so like offensive, but they're so funny.
So, oh, I know. And what's great about South Park is they said, well, 2 years ago we were just ripping on the far left.
Yeah.
This year we're ripping on the far right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
What's ever funny? Yeah,
I
exactly.
love them. I love them. I
Yeah.
love them, and they really are just brilliant. And yeah, so it will find its way. But yes, in the meantime, check out PsycheOnSunset.com. And thank you for asking.
Oh, of
What a
course.
great
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
I
yeah.
absolutely loved it. Yeah. Did
Mhm.
you ever like get approached or considered like doing anything like animated, like voiceovers and stuff like that?
I was a punch up writer in the 90s for shows in the early 2000s for shows like Pepper Ann
Okay.
and Recess and American Dragon, Jake Long and Fillmore and these cartoons things. And then I would wrote a couple episodes on those shows because I did punch ups for them, and then I would do some voiceover for
Right.
those. But
Okay.
I never really got. I think the precision of those guys is so different. Like sometimes you see people that you go, why are they famous? You know what I mean? They're not that talented or whatever.
Right.
At least in the voiceover world, the guys who are doing the best work, like, Kenny, the guy who does
Tom
SpongeBob and
Kenny. Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you go, well, he's a genius. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at least you kind of go, the guy at the top of the heap at least
Yeah.
deserves to be there.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? He's 100% deserves everything. And I think there's a voice quality in mine that I'm not 100%. It's not as crisp as I think it should be. And my diction is not as, I'm sure these are things I could work on really
Right.
hard, but
Right.
but just getting in is really, really hard, and you
Yeah.
have to be exceptional.
Mm.
And I feel I'm good. Do I feel I'm
Mm.
exceptional? Not to the level of I know people who do voiceover work, and man, they're fantastic. Like when we did Twister, Hank Azaria was
Oh,
dating
yeah.
Helen Hunt, and he was dating Helen Hunt, and he'd come out all the time and hang out with us.
Right.
And I mean, Hank's a genius. Do you know what I mean? Like you can
Yeah.
tell it's just you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm good enough. I'm just not good enough, to
Right.
really be in those
Yeah.
things. But, who knows? I know I could do it. I
Right.
know
Right.
I'd be
Exactly.
fine at it. I just
Yeah.
think that the guys that are really, really good are really, really good,
Right. Yeah. Did anybody ask him to do any characters when he was on set?
Well, here's the rub is we were bored, we'd be there for months
Right.
and we were doing in 90s the summer of 95
Right.
and we were doing a lot of Jerry Lewis. And we were going, Mrs. Lady with the hyphen, and he would come in and do it, and he'd mess with us and mess with us. And when he went back to the season, that's when that
Yeah.
scientist slowly came out.
Oh yeah.
So we were doing Jerry
Professor
Lewis
Frink. Yeah.
all yes, we were
Yeah.
doing we were doing Jerry Lewis all summer, and then he ran with it and kind of took
Yeah.
it into that character.
Oh wow, that's
So
great.
so we feel we're kind of like, well, we had something to do with
Exactly. Yeah. You could pat
that.
yourself on the back there. Yeah.
Yeah, pat ourselves on the back. But yes, that was the only real influence,
Right.
that
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty good though,
Yeah.
because I love that character. That's one of
Oh,
my
he's
favorite
great.
Simpsons
Yeah.
characters. Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Absolutely. Are you like? Are you surprised it's 30 years since Twister came out?
Yes and no. Like I'm living such a different life. I'm on my second marriage. I'm
Right.
producing, directing now. That was such a different time, but part of it, yeah, I mean, you know what? In all honesty, it's not like it was just yesterday. It wasn't
Right.
just
Yeah.
yesterday because, like I said, I had just gotten married in my first marriage. You know what I mean? And that's been over for 10 years, and we were together for a long time,
Right.
and so I mean, it just feels like a long, long time ago. So it does feel like 30 years, but the impact is shocking. And what I really found out is it really was a comfort movie during the pandemic.
Mm.
People just went to it like it was top 10 a
Right.
lot. And I was kind of like, why? And they go,
Yeah.
because it's escapism, you
Yeah.
know? It's just escapism in a time and so everybody's and I go, yeah, but this is not like a happy movie or whatever, and we're in it, and they go,
Yeah.
no, 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 it's our childhood.
Mm.
It's our childhood and
Right.
our teen years and growing up. We want to, relive that stuff during this very strange time,
Yeah.
and that popped off again, and then the word of the new one
Right.
that always helps,
Yeah.
right? So that got it in there, but the enduring legacy of that movie is beyond shocking because people literally say I'll watch it once a week. I'll have it in the background.
Yeah.
At least I've met so many people who they watch it at least once a year.
Yeah.
And all the Midwest
Mm.
people, they all watch it at the beginning of tornado season, which is
Right.
like March or April. So
Yeah.
they all start watching because tornado. But there used to be a tornado season.
Yeah.
There isn't one anymore. It's all the time.
Right. Yeah.
There is no,
Yeah.
it's all the time. And it used to be in one section of the country. Now it's all over the country.
Yeah.
So everything has really changed. But yeah, I think I'm more surprised that after all this time, it still holds up for a very, for people as something they quote. They're quoting me lines I don't remember. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I say to people, I go, "Why do you keep saying that?" And they go, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's your line from Twister
Yeah.
when you blah blah blah." Blah. And I
Yeah.
go,
Okay.
"Okay."
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Because at the day on the way we shot, a lot of it was just quick.
Right.
Jan was like, "We need something here. Da, da, da. Let's talk about the maps. Fold the maps. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
da, da, da." And we shoot it. I shot that in 20 minutes in a summer day in Oklahoma in 1995.
Hmm.
That's all. That's it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
now everybody's saying those moments,
Yeah.
as if they were something we rehearsed for, months, and it wasn't even. It was thrown at us at the last minute. But you never realize, and the whole idea. I think the legacy that is nicest for me is that when we were on the set, we knew what was happening. This was a money grab from the studios.
Hmm.
They had Jan de Bont, who goes, "This guy can do a roller coaster."
Right.
ILM had just done the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, and
Right.
they wanted a new challenge. So they wanted that. Michael Crichton was tooling around with this idea of tornadoes. So they all got together with Spielberg, and they go, "Let's
Yeah.
just do this." We didn't have a script. We didn't, there was so little, we were making it up as we went
Yeah.
along, kind of thing. I think the basic premise was there, but there was a lot of stuff that was being thrown at us. So many different writers came in, uh, and because of that, we all, as the cast, said, "This isn't about us. This is
Hmm.
about the action.
Yeah.
It's about Jan and the trucks, and it's about the tornadoes. That has nothing to do with this." So by absolving ourselves of having to be the main thing, we all just kind of relaxed and had a great
Yeah.
time. So because of that, now everybody talks about us, not the tornado. They talk about the lines. They talk about how we got along really well, that we were silly, that we were,
Hmm.
And I think it's just because we all went, this has nothing to do with us anyway. So why worry about it? And I think that's the thing that makes me the happiest. Like people going, "Oh my God, Aunt Meg's cooking. It's
Yeah.
so good." And I
Yeah.
just did a video about how terrible it was, and it's gotten over 1 million views of people
Right.
going, "Why did you break my heart?" And I
Yeah.
go, "Well, guess what? I'm not a tornado chaser either."
Exactly. It's called acting.
It's called acting, and
Yeah.
no, it wasn't good food, but
Right.
obviously we did our job
Yeah.
because you believed it was a great meal, and that's what our
Right.
job was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it's interesting that Twister still holds up the way it does, and the residuals are still good, which is
That's great.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 years
Yeah.
later, so I'll
Yeah.
take it.
I mean, it's always on. It was
Hmm.
happened to come across it the other night, so I'm like, all right, I'll just watch
It's
the last half hour
always
of it.
That's what everybody says. They
Yeah.
go, no matter what point that movie's on, when it comes on, you can just keep it on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do
Right.
your, yeah.
And the cast was great. I mean, you
Yeah,
guys were absolutely amazing in it.
yeah. I was thrilled to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I was there for the milk commercial,
Right.
and everyone else was there for like Phil had just been in Scent of a Woman, and made Todd Field had done Walking and Talking in New York. Jeremy Davies had done Spanking the Monkey.
Yeah.
Like all these people had really great credits, and I was there because of the milk
Milk
commercial.
commercial.
So I was a little insecure,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
but I held my own, so I'm
Right.
glad.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the commercial, so let's just go there
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like PTSD from peanut butter now?
Yes, I didn't eat peanut butter for like 5 years. Um, well, the thing was, we just did it over and over and over and over again for 12 hours.
Really?
And he just put the camera different places.
Yeah.
But it was, I had five people. Someone would come up with five people ran up to me. I would spit out the peanut butter.
Yeah.
I would get a water. Second person hands me water. Rinse, spit,
Huh.
that stuff. Then I would go and get, uh, then I would go and get a Q-tip from the third person, and we'd
Yeah.
clean my teeth, make sure the peanut butter's out. Then the fourth person did my makeup, make sure everything was good, and the fifth person handed me another peanut butter sandwich, and we went again. We did it all day long, and so I had canker sores,
Oh. Huh.
oil and salt on my
Yeah.
lips. Lips were cracked and dry. So no, I became an almond butter
Right.
and I've been that ever
Yeah.
since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you also surprised how well that commercial did and how it took off?
Yeah, just because I was doing a lot, you know? I
Yeah.
was doing a lot of commercials. So, like the Little Caesars commercials that Mark Story was doing back then were so funny. It was really that deadpan stuff that he was doing for Little Caesars, and I thought those were brilliant. Um, I didn't know Michael Bay wasn't Michael Bay at the time.
Right.
He was just a
Yeah.
very hot commercial director. And then I remembered walking in and going, wow, this set's
Hmm.
incredible. Like, this
Yeah.
is an incredible looking set. I mean, it's just so, I mean, I think production design on that commercial is one of the best I've ever seen.
Mm.
Like, to walk in, because people go, oh, that commercial is so you. And I go, no, 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 no.
No.
That had a lot to do with the directing. It had a
Yeah.
lot to do with the art department, and the concept was
Yeah.
brilliant because they didn't have a corporation. It was California Milk
Hmm.
Board, and the farmer went, I don't do creative stuff. You guys do it. To get carte blanche
Wow. Yeah.
to creatives, there's no corporation that would have let them do that commercial. They would have gone, no one knows who that is. It's so fear based,
Yeah.
with corporations. And this guy was not. And so it did great in California, raised milk consumption by 25%,
Hmm.
but the national board then bought it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it was a successful ad campaign, and because of that, that helped me. Obviously, Spielberg saw it and put me
Yeah.
in Twister, and then it helped Michael Bay because he got The Rock
Yeah.
because of that commercial.
Wow.
He started his feature directing, and he doesn't like it, and he dismisses it and says it was dumb, and but whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
It was seminal for me.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was seminal, but I mean, it killed my commercial career. No more commercials. I probably did three
Yeah.
after that, and I never did them since. And but it started my theatrical career.
Right.
So
Is right. Is that
good
because
trade-off.
yeah? Is that because
Good
you were
trade-off.
so recognizable in that commercial?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. And also because if you think about it, I'm selling a Chevy truck.
Yeah.
Everybody on the street goes, "Oh, it's the milk guy, Sean Whalen."
Right.
When you put me in your truck, there's a mixed message. People go, "Oh, it's the milk guy in a Chevy truck."
Sure.
You don't want
Okay.
you want to
Right.
think Chevy truck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
So
I
I was a
understand.
distraction, even though it wasn't a campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a campaign, but not with me.
Right.
I only did
The
one.
one.
And people like, can you hear me now, guy? That guy made millions of dollars,
Yeah.
millions, and did multiple campaigns. And yes, did he get kind of frozen out a little bit theatrically? because you get so branded, sure.
Right.
So he's got to fight harder, right?
Yeah.
To legitimize himself. But for me, luckily, because that was the only one, uh, the bad news was I didn't make as much money as those guys did. The
Yeah.
good news was the good news was I didn't have that stigma.
Yeah.
So they put me into, and once you get into a movie like Twister, but look, a big project will buy you in this town 3 to 5 years
Okay.
of like grace.
Yeah.
So while we're shooting the movie, that's great because everyone's like, "Oh, he picked all these hot, young actors."
Yeah.
That's the word on the street. So when you come back and it hasn't come out, you're getting the momentum from that. Then
Yeah.
it comes out and it's a big hit. You get the
Right.
momentum from that, and you're trying to build that momentum to get to the next
Yeah.
launching pad thing that'll take you to the next level,
Right.
right? And then if you do, you do, and if you don't, I had a great part in Men in Black as Tommy Lee Jones' assistant. I think it would
Mm.
have changed my career, and they wrote it out.
Mm.
Even though they did the deal, so I have a tiny part in that movie,
Yeah.
but that would have changed my career in a different level.
Right.
It's always just getting to the level and hoping you can get to the next level.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you get down. You go up and down the ladder of the whole career. So that definitely helped me move up, and brought me. Gosh, I probably rode that milk commercial with
Mm.
Twister and all that stuff into like the
Mm.
early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then that stuff fades unless you have something else that pops off. As Michael
Yeah.
Vartan would tell you, like,
Yeah.
because he did
He did Alias.
Alias. That's right.
Yeah.
He did Alias.
And then
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And then he
That
was
is
doing
so wild. Yeah.
movies with like Jennifer Lopez and
Hmm.
Jane
Yeah,
Fonda,
and
Zoe
then
Saldana.
right
Yeah.
and then if you don't get that next thing, then that slowly, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Then Alias fades, and
Yeah.
and what's her face had to do 13 on 30, and then she got that going, but
Right.
then that doesn't go anywhere. So now
Yeah.
she's as less relevant.
Right.
You just take your
It's true. Yeah.
turns up and down the ladder, and
Right.
as long as you can stay on the ladder, you're get another
Yeah.
shot. And I think for me, I'm doing public speaking now, and one of the things I talk about is endurance. Like since the 90s, it was like 20 years till career wise till I really had that revival of feeling like I did in the 90s. And that's when I started directing and
Yeah.
producing and getting on
Right.
this side of the camera.
Yeah. And great segue because I absolutely loved Crust.
Oh, you did?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that's so
I
great.
mean, in a time now when there's like, I mean, I love Marvel movies too, but like
Sure.
the Marvel movies, the remakes, the reboots of everything,
Yes.
such
Yeah.
an original idea for
Yeah.
a movie, that was slash horror slash comedy, even a movie with a
Yes.
heart. It was
Yes.
really well done. So, like, how did you come up with the even idea for this thing?
That was an interesting story. That was a pitch meeting with, gosh, probably 2012. There was these producers going, we want to get into horror. We know it's happening, but it's just so expensive with the blood and the gore and
Yeah.
I go, you guys are overthinking it. Just do one location. I don't know, like a laundromat, and then a guy in a sock suit, and then you have a sock monster in a laundromat,
Right.
and that's it. And I
That's it.
never thought about it again until I got divorced in 2015. I went through a very severe depression. I was coming out of it. I was really angry. I don't know why I was angry after my depression. And I couldn't say, well, I'm mad at X.
Right.
I couldn't say like, oh, I wasted my time, or
Mm.
I just didn't know what it was.
Right.
And I went and there's a movie called Ugly Sweater Party with
Mm.
Aaron Mento and Charles Tudabala. And they brought me in to do a role through Felissa Rose. And I saw that they were making this really cool movie in their house, well done. And I was like, wow, they're like actually doing
Yeah.
it. And I said, maybe I should go back to that sock monster idea, because everyone was saying, oh, you should have a pet. And I said, well, the only pet I needed during my depression was one
Yeah.
that took care of all my problems because I couldn't function.
Right.
And I thought, oh, this is a great idea. So then I did that movie, and I go, you know what? You can do this. Like, these guys are actually making their movie, Ugly Sweater Party. And so those guys were going to direct in 2016, and I went and I talked to my friend, who logically is very airtight. He hates like movies that don't make sense.
Mm.
So I knew I was doing this fantastic world.
Right.
So I needed he's so funny. Like I love my friend Jim who co-wrote it with me. He makes me laugh so hard. So I picked him for that and for his logic.
Okay.
Like he's really like
Yeah.
okay, everything has to make sense. Even though it's a
Mm.
crazy world, right?
Right. Right.
Just like Marvel
Of
rules,
course.
right?
Yeah.
They have their rules. So then uh, that is, and when I wrote the script, it was a lot of me writing a bunch and then sending it to Jim, and then we would work through it together. And then there was times that we would do stuff together, but um, it just kind of flew out of me,
Mm.
like someone was asking, is there a flow? And I said, yeah, the
Yeah.
flow where I'm writing the scene where I'm flirting with Neela
Yeah.
about vocabulary,
Right.
right? Where I go, that's an impressive. That I don't even know where those words came from. Like I don't know how that. Like I
Yeah.
was so impressed with that scene after I finished writing. I go, wow, good for you,
Yeah.
dude. Like, you know, um, and that was one of those times I go, oh, I feel like a vessel or whatever. So then we tried to get it made in 2016.
Mm.
Um, we didn't really know what we were doing with Indiegogo. We did a table read. We had some people, and it just didn't catch on.
Right.
The Indiegogo, we didn't know. Felissa was trying to help me produce it. Then we all kind of backed off and we didn't get going. And then we kind of went, and then another producer, like three or four different producers over the 6, 7 years would come in. We would get notes. We would tighten it up. There were some people who said, let's do it as a proof of concept. We wrote a 30-minute
Mhm.
version, all the different ways you try to get it done. And then Felissa Rose had moved on. She had grown in her producing. She got a new partner. I really liked her new partner. And 6, 7 years later, she, I met her new producing partner, and I said, "Let's do this." And she knew how to do Indiegogo,
Mhm.
and she'd been doing it, and so we got it started, and um, we had gone to different people for Rebecca's part, but then I finally said, "Look, I got Alan Ruck. I really want to. I don't want the
Mm.
name to be Neela. I
Yeah.
want Rebecca to be Neela because she
Right.
came in and actually at the table read in 2016 supposed to be another actress, and she was just filling
Mm.
in. But she was like, I love this role, and me
Right.
and her had great chemistry.
Yeah.
And then so we busted our butt because we said if we don't have chemistry, this movie doesn't work. There
Right. Of
has to
course.
be the triangle,
Yeah.
right? And then the producers were trying to cheap out on the puppet, and they go, well, we don't want to spend that much. I go, dude, this is a Muppeteer.
Yeah.
Hold on. And I drove to her house and I filmed the whole thing about Crust being happy and sad and scared and this. And I sent it to them. They're like, okay, we'll pay her.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you're not going to say, hey, let's do ET and the budget cuts we need are on the actual creature. You're not
Right.
going to do that. Doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. So, and we worked really, really hard on it. And we found this one little location in Newhall, California. And then we got it done right before the writer's strike, right before, so we could get
Yeah.
it done. And Felissa wanted to get the crew and cast, and I said, no, 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 I'm going to cast it. It's my directorial debut. I
Yeah.
got to get all. So I got all people I knew and trusted,
Yeah.
gave them kind of keys to the kingdom. Ricky Dean Logan kind of rewrote his part because he
Okay.
knew Italian mobsters. And he said, I had it. So they were getting married and they were in love. And he goes, dude,
Yeah.
she's not, she's the guma. She's the affair.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
not, he'd never say he loves her. He would never say, I'm marrying you. He
Yeah.
goes, that's not the way it works. So
Right.
he goes, do you mind if I take a crack at writing the scene the way? And
Yeah.
he came up with the like peaches, like
Yeah. Yeah.
and he came up. It was my idea to do it on the table, but it was his idea to say film it, And I
Okay.
go, oh, dude, this is brutal.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's the turning point in the film where I go, oh, power has nothing to do with he's a big tough guy.
Right.
It has to do that he's smarter, has power in the weapon and the
Yeah.
muscle,
Right.
and that's it. And then that's when I slowly start to realize, oh, I have muscle too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Crust.
Right.
Yeah, it was great. And then everybody like Agent Bynes, he had a whole thing about
Yeah.
his oil stains on his shirt, and
Right.
we shot him eating his noodles a week and a half after that, and
Okay.
that's why he did it, so he could have his Chinese noodles and have the
On the show.
sweatshirt, and yeah.
Yeah.
But he's brilliant. My friend Gabe is so brilliant because he's got all the, you know, uh, believe me, Crust 2 and 3. There's not just two brothers. Let's just put it that
Okay.
way.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot more coming, but they
Right.
all have the same inclination. But he came up and pitched
Yeah.
us this whole thing, and we go, God, it's brilliant. It's really
Right.
fun. And yeah, we just had a blast making it. It was
Yeah.
so much fun, and it was the best first directing debut I could have had.
That's great.
Alan saying he would do it, Danny Roebuck.
Right.
I
Who's
said,
great in everything.
I can bring you
Yeah.
back. I can bring you in for a day. He goes, no, give me
Yeah.
a big part so you and I
Yeah.
can mix it up a little bit.
Right. That's good.
And
Yeah.
people were like, you too. And I said, well, we've been friends for 20 years. And I go, you could tell. Me and Danny, you could tell that we had been. And
That's
so
great.
I'm very proud of it. Look, technically, could it be a little better on some sound? And, yes. But what I wanted to achieve in terms of character, story, likability, compelling,
Yeah.
and you never know how much you love why you pick something. People said, why black and white? And I
Yeah.
said, this guy mentioned it, and I couldn't get rid of it. But then it hit me. My favorite Tim Burton movie is Ed Wood.
Hmm.
One of my favorite comedies of all times is
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But mostly, I think it hit me like a year later when someone said, "Why did you do in black and white?" And I said, "You know what it is?" And it just hit me. My favorite show growing up was Twilight Zone,
Yeah.
and Crust is a Twilight Zone episode.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's
Good.
literally a
Yeah.
Twilight Zone episode.
Good
So
point.
I
Yeah.
went, "Oh, okay." Then
Yeah.
that's probably why
Yeah.
And in all honesty, the laundromat looks terrible in color.
Cool.
It's white and yellow.
Yeah.
The
And
monster
yeah.
doesn't look as good.
Right.
The Crust doesn't look as good in color
Yeah.
as he does, and so it worked also just visually
Yeah.
because it really made the contrast better. And luckily, we had a guy that knew how to light for film noir.
That's good.
That
Yeah.
put the shadows and stuff. The guy did such a great job.
Right.
Like the back office with the light on the wires
Yeah.
behind. It looks like Frankenstein's
Yeah.
lair, kind of. Like it looks so good.
Right.
Some of those shots. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of the story of it. And then we figured out 2 and 3, and I've got a whole arc on it. And so people are people who see it
Yeah.
beg for. They're like, "What's happening?" And we got to get
Right.
a part 2. We
Yeah.
got to get a
I was
part 2.
yeah. I was going to
Really
ask you about that, so I'm glad
Yes.
that yeah
So
you
I have
mentioned
a
that.
part 2 ready, and I think the hope is to shoot it and do it in 2027, and I think I would do the same thing. I think I'd do an
Yeah.
Indiegogo. I don't think I'd get producers. Everybody really liked the community feel of it.
Right. That's
Like
good.
all the people that contributed, they feel like they're a part of it, and so I think that would be the plan, is to do part 2. I'd probably shoot 2 and 3 back to back,
Okay. Yeah.
just to get them out of the way. But I definitely have 2 and 3, and it's a really fun trilogy.
Yeah.
The second one is about the road trip across country,
Makes sense.
about
Yeah.
everybody. Like it's a mad, 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 mad world.
Okay.
Everybody's chasing them.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So the manager gets her private jet and tries to get off the road. All the people who want to avenge and chase, they're all chasing him. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And that's not the only little spawn. There's a lot more coming.
All right. Cool. Yeah.
So yeah, it's very fun. It's
That's
very
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
no, I'm really glad. I got the best thing I got was during a live last week. Someone said, "You have no idea how much this movie healed me." She had some very hard year, depression, and she goes,
all right.
"You didn't beat us over the head with the mental health. It was just part of the story." And she goes, "It heals more than you know."
That's great.
And then you go, "That's why I did it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my producer, Felicia's producer, when I met him, the first thing he said, he goes, because one guy was like, "Oh man, if you have nudity, I can get more topless girls," and I was like, "No." This guy said, first thing he said, Dan Kearney said, "Oh, I know what you're doing," and I said, "What?" He goes, "I know what you're doing," and I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, I've had anxiety and depression myself," and I went, this is the guy.
Right.
Because they're not saying, oh, you jerk off, and
Yeah.
they're not saying that stuff. They're going,
Yeah.
no, I understand what you're talking about, and that's what was so nice.
Yeah.
And I knew he was the guy to do it. So
That's great. Hmm.
yeah, it was great, and I'm glad you liked it. So what was it that you liked about it most? The more film. I mean, you're a film fan, and you could see I did a
Yeah.
lot of film. Like you could, somebody said
Yeah.
you can see Sean Whalen's love of movies.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
you
It
know,
just like just the simplicity of it, and like the black and white, was great because laundromats are depressing places.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, no one really goes in there
yeah.
just to have fun. You're there really
No,
for a reason, and
yes,
just because I don't want to categorize people, but if you go into a laundromat, you don't really have a lot of money. I mean, you don't have
right,
one in your house, a laundromat or a
sure,
washer in your house or anything like that. So it's like you
right,
got to schlep all your stuff, and you're
right,
already in a bad mood and whatnot.
yes,
So it's
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
really a pleasant place. And plus,
No,
yeah, that and Alan Ruck's hair was amazing.
dude, that was him.
Really.
What was so funny, that story is a great story because I said, hey, would you be in my directorial debut?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, I'd love to. And then he said he would do it. We got his dates figured out, all the stuff. He still hadn't read the script. So there was an announcement in the trades that he
Yeah.
was doing it. And then he read the article in the trades and he goes, oh, so I'm like a douchebag type of guy. And I said, yeah. And he goes, ooh, I want to get fake teeth. I want
Yeah.
to have like a stupid wig. I
Right.
want to, and I said, great, go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
He said, I want to go total douchebag.
Total douche. Yeah.
And
He
I said,
nailed it.
great.
He nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, he's so gross. Like, and that's the first time we've acted together since Twister.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our little Twister reunion that
Yeah.
people didn't know they got.
Right.
They didn't get it in Twisters. They got it in,
Yeah.
and it was yeah. He was so he's so smarmy.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, even the hosts of the entertainment show were great too.
Oh yeah, and that was a great yeah. I love them because at our table read we had an Australian girl do it, and I had another Australian guy do it. Ross was actually at the original one, the Asian guy, and I wanted an Australian girl, and my
Yeah.
neighbor across the hall was an Australian actress
Yeah.
plus a choreographer, so she
Oh,
choreographed the dance.
okay. Nice.
And yeah, so Tinseltown Tonight. So I said they're
Yeah.
both Australian, and people are like,
Yeah.
why? And I go, I don't know.
No, no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because it's again, it goes to where are we?
Yeah. It's true.
I don't know where we are, and
Right.
that's when I changed it. It wasn't Hollywood. It was Tinseltown, and it's
Yeah.
not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if you're going to set up the rules, I was like, okay, I'm going to set up the
Yeah.
rules that
Yeah.
it's it, and that's why it was Danny because I said I wanted people to suspend disbelief because when Star Wars says a long
Yeah.
time ago in a galaxy far, far away,
Yeah.
they have absolved themselves of any logic that's tied to anything real.
Right.
They can make up anything they want to, and yet they talk like us. They all
Yeah.
have gravity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's
Right.
gravity on every single planet.
Yeah.
There's so many things that are normal, but then
Yeah.
they can get away with anything
Yeah.
because they go, well, this isn't anywhere. And that's why I started the film with at some place at some time,
Fine. Yeah.
just because it's like a folk tale, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the second one is him trying to get across country, and the third one is about them finally getting to Tinseltown, and
Yeah.
Crust becomes the new hot TV
Steve
star,
Star. That's
and
great.
Vegas becomes the crappy parent,
Parent. Okay. Yeah.
the stage parent,
The stage parent.
right? And then
Yeah.
they split up and they fight and the whole thing. And,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what's happening to Danny Roebuck's character? That's the thing.
Sure.
We don't
Yeah.
know, right?
Just he's having a beer somewhere.
What did you think at the end when you saw him come and go? He's got to fix this.
Yeah.
At the end, did you see that?
I did. Yeah.
And they're like, we're gonna drive out and chase him and stuff. But what do you think is happening to him?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, he
It's
points to
yeah.
where the crust bit him.
Okay.
So he's infected by crust. So what they're looking at, and this is an exclusive for you.
Okay. Uh-oh.
They're looking at there's some socks growing in his
Hmm.
wound.
So then he just transforms into like another crust,
He's slow. Yeah, he might be the anti-crust.
anticrust. Yeah, Well, like Carnage to Venom, I guess, right?
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or what is the name of the black suited Spider-Man?
like
What is
this,
that?
like the symbiont, I guess. I don't even know
Is
what you
that
would
what he's
really
called?
call it. Yeah, I mean,
He was in three, right? The original
in the
third
original
one.
three, yeah, what,
Oof.
yeah, that was not good.
Well, it's so weird. You go one and two were
The second one might be one of the best comic book movies of all
hands
time. It's
down,
so
hands
good.
down,
And then the third one,
hands down.
yeah.
I mean, with what's his face as Doc Ock, forget it.
Oh
He
yeah,
was
Alfred Molina. He was just
so
so
dumb,
good. Yeah,
so good.
yeah,
Like that whole thing is so good,
yeah,
and it is. It just goes, man. People can't nail a trilogy.
no,
Matrix couldn't do it. Like,
yeah,
and believe me, I'm a huge trilogy, and I'm not
yeah,
even a Lord of the Rings guy. And I just, for some reason, they were too
yeah,
long and slow for me. But I
yeah,
know I get it. Feel like Toy Story, perfect trilogy. I would argue that's the best trilogy, and then by them adding a four and a five,
and a
it
thought,
pisses me
yeah, I
off.
know.
But I mean,
Yeah,
that was a airtight, perfect
yeah,
trilogy.
right.
Like it couldn't have been better.
I've cried. I can count 4 times in the movies in my life, and
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 was one of them.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Best. Like
yeah,
everything about that trilogy was but then I
yeah,
go, but four is interesting and five looks even funnier. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And I'm like,
It's.
but
I
I mean,
mean,
in terms of trilogies, it's really tough to a good one, two, and three. Except I would say for the original Star Wars trilogy, I thought was
yeah,
great.
yeah.
You know, but even then, by the third one, they were like, "We're gonna make money on Ewoks." You know
Oh, of
what I
course,
mean?
yeah,
You could smell that. I When I
right.
saw them, I went, "Oh, dude,
Yeah, because
this is
originally
all
it
merch."
was supposed to be like the Wookiee planet.
Yeah, and they were and they were supposed to be, and then when it was in the Wookiee planet, they went with
Yeah,
really kind of weird looking, ugly things that weren't
yeah,
cute,
right.
and then they were like, "We
Yeah,
can make some more money if we
of
make them
course.
cute."
Yeah, right. Because Lucas was no dummy. He kept all the
Yeah, of
merchandising for
course.
himself, and
Yes,
and I'm a
of course.
collector, and I'm a sucker, and I spend money on that.
Sure,
And of
a
course,
hundred percent, a
yeah,
hundred percent. But yeah, so that's why I said, okay, I have to do a trilogy. Why is it good? And I would say, because I did my homage to my black and white Twilight Zone. My second homage would be like Mad 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 World
yeah,
and What's Up Doc and those kind of wacky
yeah,
road trip type fun
right,
movies. And the third one is my love of like sitcoms and comedy and
yeah.
um, but it's a whole arc where there's a beginning, middle, and end, and anything I do, I want to do a trilogy, and it's easy to say. If someone like I remember John Krasinski going, "A Quiet Place is a one-off.
Yeah,
I don't want to," you know what I mean?
yeah.
And then they just barraged him
Of
with money. And I thought Quiet Place 2 was good, and I loved actually the new Quiet Place with
oh,
Lupita Nyong'o.
the prequel, yeah,
I thought that was great.
yeah,
Like the day one, I thought that was great.
yeah,
So, I mean, good for him. But like as of right now, my trilogy is my trilogy, and I
yeah.
don't want
Exactly.
to do any more.
Right.
But then again, if someone goes, "I'll give you $1 billion
Of
for a
course.
cartoon series," I'll be like,
Sold. Yeah, yeah.
but who knows? But Crust has to. Again, Crust will find its time too. People are seeing it. People are
Yeah,
liking it. It's steady. It's not dropping off. I just want it to hit more of a cult status that more people know it.
yeah. I
Like Rocky Horror. That's my goal. So
Yeah,
we'll
and
see.
you can buy merchandise on your website,
Yes, you can
which is
buy
great.
merchandise, and it's on Tubi, Fandango,
Yeah,
Apple, Amazon. And if you like it, drop a rating, and that's how these movies go. They
yeah,
word of mouth. It's all word of mouth. But I'm very proud of it. My second movie, Swipe, is so different, and it's much bigger in scope,
mm,
and but that is my first film, calling card.
mm,
I'm glad
yeah.
that's my first film.
That's great. Yeah, no,
Like I feel good about it.
yeah, you nailed it.
It's not like I went, "Oh, I got a lot to learn." You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I go, but the things I was best at were the things I was best at, which was writing and storytelling, and my
mm,
actors were all good. Like
right.
that's a lot of people are like, "Man, your actors are so good in
Yeah,
Crust," but I made sure they were. You know
right.
what I mean? Because if look, as an acting director, if my acting sucks,
Yeah,
that's bad. You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know. it's not like you're going to see a Kenneth Branagh film and go, "Oh, these people are terrible."
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly. Yeah,
saying? You know,
totally. Yeah,
he's going to pick the best. So,
yeah, absolutely.
um, yeah,
Yeah, and people forget he directed the original Thor.
yeah.
You know.
But again, it was Shakespearean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thor was Shakespearean. The
Yeah,
first one was so Shakespearean.
yeah,
King Lear meets,
yeah.
Hamlet. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I love actually. I have a movie club that we
Okay.
do, and the next movie we're watching is Belfast, which is
Oh,
one of my
okay.
favorites. Did you see that one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, I highly
Okay.
recommend it. It's so good, and it's just about him. It's Kenneth Branagh directed, and
Yeah.
it's got great
Yeah.
actors, Judi Dench,
Mm.
just but it's about his time in when he was young in
Okay.
Ireland when the wars had started. Another black and white film, but
Yeah.
it's lovely. So
I'll check it out. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. So we got another anniversary this year, 35th anniversary.
yes,
The People Under the Stairs.
yep,
Yeah. Great movie. Watched it
yeah,
again recently. Holds
yeah,
up. Absolutely
yeah.
holds up. Yeah.
It's ahead of its time,
Yeah.
really ahead of its time, and very. It's funny because people go, "How'd you get into horror?"
Yeah.
And I go, "I didn't get into horror. Horror got into me."
Right.
I said because I wanted to do comedy. I was a groundling.
Yeah.
And I started theatrical, and then I got a coach. So my third job I ever got was People Under the
Okay.
Stairs, which was my first film, and I got it. I had played Renfield in high school, and a lot
Okay.
of the direction I got from Renfield was very similar to
Yeah.
Roach. And I went in there, and the funny thing was, like, you go in the waiting room, and there's guys that are massive, and I'm going, what wall are you gonna fit in? Like
True.
I knew I was like, oh, you're skinny. This is
Yeah.
good. Like this is good.
Right.
You're supposed to be a creepy skinny guy between the walls like
Yeah.
that. And then there's some guys I'm going, like, what are you? I don't
Yeah.
know. You know. So, but then I went in his, and my favorite story to tell is that my friends were all, I was 27, and they were all finishing their masters and their business degrees, and they're all going on interviews, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I got a suit, and I got a briefcase, and I got to sit there,
Yeah.
and I go, oh, really? I was like half naked, crawling on Wes Craven's floor, crying, cackling, hiding behind a chair, and then curling up and dying on his floor.
Right.
That was my a little
Right.
different, and then they all I got the call like an hour later, and
Wow.
that's shocking for that quick, you
Wow.
know. Um, and it was just wonderful. I mean, I had no lines, right?
Yeah.
So I could just be the prosthetic tongue. There was one shot that I spoke, and he goes, "You can't
Yeah.
talk," and I go,
Yeah.
"Oh," because I was like, "Oh shoot," because it was
Yeah.
like a shock, and I just kept that in my mouth and did the whole movie with that in, so I could be free and
Mm.
talk and do whatever I wanted, but I
Right.
couldn't understand me
Yeah.
because of the prosthetic tongue. And he was just so mellow and so chill, and wanted the acting to be good. I mean, we had Ving Rhames,
Yeah.
we had Wendy Roby and Everett McGill, and
Yeah.
like, we had great people. And Brandon Adams was such a, that was the start of his big kid career.
Yeah.
He went on to do Mighty Ducks
Dogs
and
Sandlot, right? The Michael
Sandlot,
Jackson
right?
stuff.
And
Yeah.
yeah, all that stuff, the Michael Jacksons. And it was just a lovely experience.
Yeah.
It was a lovely experience. And then, I'm on screen for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. And
Right.
then maybe you hear me for 2 or 3.
Mhm.
So, but Roach is such a great character. It's so well written.
Yeah.
He goes from, in 10 minutes, you go from, oh my gosh, this is a scary character,
Yeah.
to, oh, he's a good guy, and oh, he's a heroic
Or
martyr.
yeah.
A martyr by the end. You're like,
Right.
what? Like,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And I did it, and that was it. It was number one. I did well, and then I didn't hear anything about it
Mm.
till Facebook,
Okay.
2009. All these tons of people friending me, and I go, my friend goes, dude, they're your fans, and I go, no, they're not. And so I just accepted all of them. Like I
Yeah.
remember one night just going, "Dit, dit, 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 dit,
Right.
dit." And that was Roach. Oh my God, Sean Whalen,
Yeah.
Roach, will you come to this horror convention? Will you, and I did, and it got me
Right.
into horror, which got into more horror movies. And then, people said, oh, and there was enough conventions and stuff that people go, oh, Sean's part of the horror community.
Mm.
And I met Felissa, who was very big in
Yeah.
the horror community. Um, so she helped me shepherd in. Tiffany Shepis was great, and Kane Hodder and Bill Mosley and all those
Yeah.
guys were really friendly, and so I kind of got into the horror community, and started to do more. And then when it was time to make movies, look, I'm older, and I don't want to do my dream project if it's not going to sell. Like my
Right.
dream project, I have a comedy that I wrote with Sam Lloyd from Scrubs, who passed away, and
Yeah.
called President Dog, about a talking dog who becomes president. And trust me, it's a fairy tale from the '90s, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
in 2 years, this is going to be the movie everybody wants to see.
Right.
Because the way our government has been the last few years, everyone's like, dude, I just need like a
Can't,
hopeful
can't be any
America.
worse.
Yeah. And but so when I was writing Crust, I said I want it to be a creature. I want it to be in the
Yeah.
horror vein, because
Yeah.
I owed so much to the horror community, and then so much to my fans that knew me from comedy.
Yeah.
And that's why uh, I think that's I got to do that for both sets of fans, my
Right.
horror fans and my because it's not really hardcore horror, but this one, my next one is Swipe is
Okay.
definitely more. So
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. And then, working with Rob Zombie in a couple movies too, which,
yeah, yeah, he was working with my DP friend Brandon Trost, who showed him their movie, The FP. He saw me and goes, "Oh, I like that guy." And then a few weeks, and he texted me and goes, "Oh,
yeah.
Rob Zombie knows who you are and says he likes you." And 3 weeks later, got a call. Do you want to come out for
Yeah.
Halloween 2? I went out there. It was really fun because it rained and we couldn't shoot. And he sat there, and sorry, I'm gonna put on my note, do not
Yeah.
disturb.
Yeah.
Um, he and I just talked movies
Yeah.
for hours. It was so great.
Right.
And then like another night, I think we did the same thing. Then it cleared up, and then we became friends, and I went to his parties and stuff.
Mm.
And then he texted me. I just remember him going, "Hey, do you want to be in my sequel to Devil's Rejects?" And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yes.
Right. Yeah.
So that was great, because then I was on one of their last nights of shooting, and he liked what I was doing in my first half of my scene with Baby. He goes, "God, we
Yeah.
have to rewrite this, because this isn't like," he had it much more harsh and angry,
Okay.
and like being mean to her,
Yeah.
and going, you cheap whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, well, then it also makes it justifiable for
They
her to
kill
kill
him.
me
Yeah.
because I'm a jerk.
Right.
And to me, I said it's way more sinister if I'm like beyond innocent. So
Yeah.
Rob, and Sherry wrote that whole grape
Okay.
soda scene
Yeah.
in like 20 minutes, and we all just kind of came up with it and made it kind of funnier. Like I love the way I go, God, you look like that woman from
From
TV.
the TV.
That is
That is
sweet.
yeah. No,
That
she
is
was
sweet.
yeah.
We got to keep partying. And I'm like, I don't want
Right. Yeah.
to.
No, because like when she comes back to the hotel room with your sombrero, you're like, up, he's
Yes.
gone. He's a goner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 And that's the other thing. Like that stuff's offensive too. The headdress, the sombrero right
Yeah.
now, all that stuff. And it's interesting because you can also, that was another reason with horror, I was worried about stuff in Crust and stuff. And I go, they just don't care.
Yeah.
Horror doesn't care, and dark comedy doesn't care.
Right.
So that's where I'm kind of living, in those places
Right.
with horror and dark comedy.
Yeah.
You can get away with much more,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was great. Rob was fantastic, and I thought that whole scene would be cut because I just didn't think it was that important.
Yeah.
But it was important. It was
Yeah.
to show that she's getting frustrated.
Right. Yeah.
It was important for the story to show, oh, she's getting antsy.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yeah.
so I was glad. I was like, oh, good, it's important to the story. So
Yeah. I know we mentioned, Michael Vartan before, so gotta leave it with Never Been Kissed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not a dark comedy, but a comedy.
No, that
You know,
was that was I was I don't know if you've watched any of my social media. I
oh yeah,
talked about the Drew Barrymore stuff and how
yeah,
she helped me out and everything. And uh, but it was great. She let me create, and like that whole Merkin character is
right.
mine. You know,
Okay.
she let me write him, create him, do
Yeah,
his dialogue, design his costume, and they were looking for things to fill in, you know, characters, and so they brought me into the bar, and I improvised that whole scene.
right.
Then they had me at the end. I had an arc and kissed a
Yeah,
girl,
yeah.
the whole thing.
Nice.
So it was so nice to go from one line in the beginning of the movie for
Yeah,
them to go, "What would you do with this?" And they really let me play.
that's great. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was really,
yeah.
really wonderful.
Right,
And, that movie was probably her worst opening, one of her worst openings,
right.
because it was against some weird computer movie with Keanu Reeves. Like, no one's going to go see that.
Yeah,
The Matrix.
yeah, yeah. Wonder
And
whatever
I
happened to
remember going,
him.
well, what is that movie?
Yeah,
I was like, no one wants to see a computer movie,
yeah,
you know? And, but it's one of those ones, it's both the movies I have that I categorize as the same thing. Worst opening for Drew Barrymore and Tom Hanks, but That Thing You Do and Never Been Kissed have withheld
yeah.
years.
They have great
People
followings,
love
both of them.
those movies,
Yeah,
both those movies. But again, if they would have been huge hits the first weekend, my career would have
yeah,
been.
right.
That's the difference.
Yeah,
Wedding Singer, like I always tried out for the Steve Buscemi part, which is ironic.
okay.
'Cause people say we look alike,
Right, yeah,
but Rapping Granny was huge for like 6 months,
yeah.
right?
She was
Because
great. Yeah,
that movie was huge on the
yeah,
first weekend. So Merkin would have been bigger on the first weekend.
yeah.
The Fan and That Thing You Do, like it would have helped. And then
Right. Yeah,
the so that's the thing. You go, at least I'm part of something that people really love, but
right.
it would have. But so now I feel like I'm back and ready, and I think
Yeah.
Swipe is Crust is a harder sell
Okay.
in terms of just shove it in a.
Right.
It's not horror enough,
Mm.
right? It's not scary
Yeah.
enough. It's in black and white. It's too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many, but that's why I made it, because I wanted it to be a cult movie,
Right.
because I defy anyone to take Rocky Horror Picture Show and put it in a box.
Yeah.
You can't.
You can't now.
And so that's why I made it. But this next one, Swipe, is pure horror. It's basically Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but flipped. It's a sister who is saving her brother from a farm that has an evil matriarch and three mute daughters that
Mm.
they've been abused by their father. Their little sister got SA'd and killed herself, and so their revenge for men is huge. So they catfish men,
Yeah.
and they trap them and keep them on their farm and torture them until they're done with them, and then they kill.
Oh wow.
And it's about a sister trying to save her brother from them. So instead of, because I argue, show me a sadistic, seditious, evil, villainous, murderous woman character in horror. We don't have one.
No.
There's no Freddy. There's no Art the Clown.
Yeah.
So people will go, you keep forgetting about Carrie. I go, Carrie had an episode at the prom.
Yeah. That's it.
That's not it. Next.
Yeah.
Oh, the mom, the nun. She's a spirit
Yeah.
and a demon,
Right.
and she's not a seditious.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're
Next.
like,
Yeah.
what about The Exorcist? What about
Yeah.
Jennifer's Body? And I go,
No.
again, Jennifer's
Possessed.
Body, sure,
Yeah.
but there wasn't a Jennifer Body 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean?
Right.
There should have been, but
Yeah.
and I go, but we just don't. And even Jennifer's Body is hot, whatever the face, right?
Right.
I go, I'm talking about someone who looks creepy and who, like Freddy and Jason and Art and the clown,
Yeah.
they're all different. And I said, we don't have those. And people are like, man, you're kind of right. Because I have a woman who wears a bald cap and she looks kind of like a Cenobite with a whistle. She just whistles and
Yeah.
has a little stabbing dibber. I have a 6'5" woman in overalls with a sickle,
Yeah.
and Haname Lee with a blue tuxedo and a bladed dildo chasing people around. So,
Yeah.
so I'm saying like these are iconic. And then Elaine
Yeah.
Kendricks was huge on Dancing with the Stars this year
Yeah,
as
she
the
was.
matriarch who has like, is the creepy matriarch that runs these daughters, So, the dinner table scene in Texas Fright and Texas Frightmare, Texas Chainsaw
Chainsaw.
is crazy. So is A Night of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
Ours is totally normal. Theirs is in the hot desert. Ours is on a cold
Right.
farm in the winter. They have goofy looking men with. I have all attractive women. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I just took the whole thing and flipped it
Yeah.
right on its ear. But all the family ones, Hills Have Eyes,
Yeah.
Night of a Thousand Corpses. I just wanted to do completely opposite. So you see their breath, like it's cold.
Right. Right.
It's not hot, and it's
Yeah.
not. And I haven't really seen one of an adventure horror where someone comes in to try to. I always see the people trying to escape from a place, but I've never seen someone come in and try to get people out of the
Right.
place. Especially the sister against the women. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's Rebecca Kennedy is the sister.
Oh, okay.
And the reason we cast her is when we were originally, me and my friend were developing it, we thought, oh, we could get a badass fighter, a UFC
Yeah.
fighter or something. And then we go, well, then you kind of know they're gonna get out.
Yeah, exactly.
But you put Rebecca in there and you go, maybe they won't.
Probably not. Yeah.
She's tiny.
You'd be surprised if she got out. That's the thing. Yeah.
She's tiny, right?
Yeah.
So it's and so that's straight horror. So I'm excited. I feel like I'm back where I was in the 90s when I got the milk commercial, when my ideas are going. I feel like I'm, it was 20 years since the 90s till I feel like I'm back. And meanwhile, people who leave the industry like Michael and you know what I mean? Like I had to end my acting as it was.
Right.
It was over. So either you go on to something else or I get on this side of the camera, which I've loved. I've loved being on this side of the camera.
No, that's great because Crust was amazing, and I look forward to what's next with everything.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
This was amazing, Sean. I can talk to you for hours. I'm about to have you back on again.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a great day, and please keep in touch.
And a special thanks to Sean for joining me today. And since we recorded this, a little bit of news. The Motion Picture Exchange, MPX, has acquired the world sale rights to Swipe. So congrats to Sean for that. And we'll have him back on when the movie comes out. There's so much more I want to talk to him about. And if you want to follow Sean on social media, just search Sean Whalen Actor. And if you have a guest suggestion, hit me up on X, formerly Twitter, at @TheFirstNoel19. Be sure to like the page for Living My Youth on Facebook. Go to iTunes, check out all the past episodes we've had. While you're there, please rate and review the show. I would really appreciate it. Don't have iTunes? Not a problem. Show's on SoundCloud, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music. Basically, wherever you can find a podcast. A new episode will come out soon. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you then.